everyone, welcome to Kick-Ass Chat Reading Corner. I am Shirley, and here we are back with a review. A book review, not really, a comic book review. I said this in my other book reviews that I was going to review the Olgard Tales Through Time Anthology series. So for those forgetting the title for a second, issue 1 came out like April 21st, and I think there's 6 issues from what I remember. So I'm going to be reviewing each one because I'm actually going to get each one, so that's going to be exciting, I guess. Yes. And so sorry for the noise, if you hear anything outside noise, train and all that stuff, because we live next to the bridge and the train goes through by and stuff. It was raining today, and it's like just, you know, just nice breeze coming in because life updates, because I actually want to start doing that as well. So this review, these book reviews are not only going to be about the books and comic books, it's also going to be life updates by me, Shirley, of course. My life update is basically yesterday. It was a beautiful day in New York City. On Wednesday, I don't know whenever you're watching this, in the end of April, of course. It was beautiful. I went to the park. I went to ping pong. Let me tell you, ping pong, I'm really shocked about this, became one of like the most fun and calming like activities I am doing during this time of like the pandemic with COVID and everything, and just depression and anxiety. It's just helping me so much. And of course, yesterday was beautiful outside, so I went out with my family. We ate lunch in the park and we just played ping pong, and we're like trying to do that every week, so it's just a fun activity. Of course, I've been going to the gym, and I'm going to the gym again on Saturday, and that's gonna be fun. I'm going with a friend, Babs, who's an amazing woman, and just having that partner to like go to the gym with and stuff, and she's really been pushing me, and I'm truly grateful. She pushes me in everything in my life almost, so she's truly a great friend. And yeah, so I'm happy to be going to the gym with her. And aside from that, I just wanted to mention I'm reading 2 books right now. Wow, that's a lot. I don't know why I'm doing that. And these 2 books, I'm actually going to review them. One is an audiobook, because I just wanted to do, it was easier to get the audiobook, and I saw the book in like the store and it was huge, and I was like, maybe I'll do an audiobook. And the audiobook is Love and Olives. I love the series that Jenny has. I think her name is Jenny. I'm sorry if I'm like mess. I think it's Jenny Welsh. I love the series. Jenny Welsh is the writer. She has been doing an amazing job. Her series, of course, is Love and Gelato. I read that, set in Italy. Such a good book about a girl who's discovering not only her past, herself, but also finding love in Florence, Italy. And that's great. The other one is Love and Luck. Oh my god, I love that one too. And I started reading it through audiobook. It was set a girl who goes to Ireland, and you know, is just trying to figure out her life because something happened to her, and you know, and all that, and exploring beautiful Ireland and exploring herself and getting to love herself. And I love that series. So I am so excited for Love and Olives. I started it a little bit. I'm on chapter 2. I'm enjoying it. I like it. It hasn't gotten into the thick of things yet, so let's see how it is. It's like set, I think it's supposed to be set in Greece because her dad is Greek. So yeah, let's see how it is. I'm excited. So that's that book that I'm listening to, and I think I'm gonna do a review on it. Yes, I am gonna do a review on it, because why not? Even though I didn't do a book reviews on the other 2, but I will. And then the other book is These Violet Delights by Chloe Gong. This book, I'm just on chapter 2. It is such a really big book. I haven't read a big book since I was in like this thick, since I was in high school. So it's I wanted to read it, of course, because it's a reimagining of Romeo and Juliet, set in Shanghai in the 1920s. So I was like, wow, this is really sounding interesting, even though I'm not really a big on Romeo and Juliet. I mean, I like the story, and of course, enemies to lovers is my thing. But you know, it sounds really interesting from a lot of reviews I saw on it. It's been getting really good reviews, so I was like, okay. Apparently, it's a series that I didn't know, so it's like, oh, okay. So that's gonna be the next book review, or Love and Olives, whichever one. But these two will get reviewed really soon. And yo, seriously, you could like beat somebody with this. This is crazy. It is so heavy too. So let's get into the reviews. Ogar Tales Through Time. The first story is Andy and her axe, and through history, her axe and what they've been through together. She is mentoring Niall. Of course, it's set between the comic books of the first one and the second one. I'm totally forgetting the titles. I'm really sorry, but it's between those first two. I have done a review on those two, so you could check on my Geekish Chat channel as well. So sorry if I'm forgetting the titles. It's Ogar 1 and Ogar 2. I think the second one's called Force Multiply. Yes. So it's set between that, and Andy's training Niall, and she's telling Niall the story of her axe and how this is her mother's axe. She doesn't remember because she's lived so long. So, but Niall's like questioning her, like, wait, I think this axe is not the original axe, because of course it's been, you know, through so much, through all the years that Andy has lived. Like, she's 6,000 something years old, so it's crazy. So it's written by Greg Rucka, of course, who wrote the movie, and the art is done by Leonardo Fernandez. Oh my god, I'm saying it wrong. I'm gonna bring up Leonardo Fernandez a little bit later when I get into the Joe and Nikki story. So yes, I really just love the mentee aspect. I loved it in the movie. I love these characters, and I love the Andy and Niall story, and just her going through how much that axe means to her, and even though it might have been repaired all throughout these years, she feels like it's still something important that was passed through her from her mother, even though she doesn't know that's her mother. But that doesn't matter, because it's about the found family aspect of it. So I really enjoyed the writing, and the colors are beautiful. The coloring for both stories is amazing. It's by the colorer is Daniela Miwa. Daniela Miwa, so good. For both stories, really good. So, and the lettering, of course, is Jody Wind. So, really good. So let's go into the Joe and Nikki story. So it's set, of course, if you can tell, in a nightclub in Berlin, El Dorado, I think it's a nightclub called. It's in the twilight between World War I and World War II, 1932. It's November, and of course, Nazis are taking over. And El Dorado, from what I looked up in history, was like a nightclub that a lot of queer people went to, who, you know, they for acceptance and enjoyment and you know, and having a place where they're not scared or pushed out or anything like that. So Joe and Nikki are just having like a date night, a fun night, you know. They're with their community, you know, amazing queer people who are just living their life and want to be who they are, you know, and just survive and just live and have a good time and just have a regular night like anybody else that, you know, they get to deserve and stuff, you know, they get to have. But of course, Nazis are taking over, of course, you know, at World War II. And so basically, the story is written by Andrew Wheeler, and the art is by Jacobo Camilli. And so the artwork is amazing. Oh my god, there's a section where Joe and Nikki are in the moonlight and they're like dancing because it's a crime for two men to dance. There was a lot of crimes, not a lot of crimes. So Joe and there's an artwork of that is amazing and beautiful with Joe and Nikki dancing in the moonlight and in the park. And of course, during that time, a lot of the laws were, you know, a lot against queer people and to oppress them and stuff. So one of the law was that two men can't dance together. It will be a crime and they'll be put in prison. So of course Joe has this line that's amazing, that this is the loveliest sin we have ever committed, them just dancing in the moonlight and loving each other and kissing each other. And I thought that was beautiful. And it was also kind of sad that, you know, they were just, you know, with these laws and everything, and it's still going on today, being oppressed, of just wanting to be who they are and just wanting to love who they want to love. And it was just, it's really telling with that part about what history is, what's going on, history back then, but also now, especially to marginalized people, you know, the black community, the indigenous community, or the queer community as well, the oppression and everything. And you know, so yeah, it was just beautiful to see that. I love the artwork of the smoke of their memories of Joe and Nikki talking about all the, you know, saving people and helping people and doing the right thing, but they always had to be on the run because they're immortals, but also because they can't die and people are going to come after them, aside from the fact that they're queer and they're you know, in a gay relationship. So that's another thing. There's a part that I really was like, yeah, okay, this is important, because yes, Joe and Nikki are going to get oppressed because they're two queer men in the gay relationship. But Nikki's a white man, so and Joe is a queer man of color. He's a Muslim queer man, and so he's going to be, you know, he's not only going to be oppressed for the fact that he's queer, he's gay. He's going to be oppressed. He's going to have racism thrown at him. So the Nazi actually calls him an offensive word, and then Nikki, of course, is going to defend his husband and stuff. And quickly, and he gets up and says, "How dare you?" and all that. So I appreciate that Nikki wanted to defend his husband, but also it shows you that, yes, you know, people of color, people, especially queer people of color, especially queer black people, you know, but, you know, they're going to be oppressed. They're going to be oppressed, but also be oppressed with racism and everything. So it's not only the oppression of queerness, but it's also oppression of, you know, and then it's a racism. So it's just all these things that gets thrown at Joe and all that. So I appreciate that they mentioned that. There's another thing that's been coming up about Nikki's characterization. I'm not gonna lie, I did not like it. Nikki was kind of like, he almost seemed like kind of pushy, or the sense of like, oh, don't, because Joe is of course weary and like mad that the Nazi is there, and Nikki's like, oh no, let's have a lovely night out, please, let's not worry about this. And it almost sounds dismissive, and that's not good, because, and I don't know if they probably weren't trying to do that, but it comes off kind of like that. And Nikki again is a white queer man, where Joe doesn't have that, you know, he can't, you know, he can't just be like, okay, I'm fine. No, because of course the Nazi came up to him and disrespected him, because again, he's a Muslim man of color, a queer Muslim man of color, so of course he's gonna get more disrespected, and you know, with the racism, you know, so he doesn't have that liberty to just chill and just be like, okay, you know, let's have a lovely night and date, you know, let's not get into it. He's not afforded that, you know what I'm trying to say. So I think that the characterization of Nikki was kind of like, I don't know, it was really off for me. But I love the moonlight scene and dancing scene. And then Lulu, the character, in the end, there's a twist to who Lulu is. It's a night singer there, who the boys meet and stuff. And they're like, you know, they welcome them in the club. And she welcomes them. In the end, she has this lovely line that says, you know, we have each other. You'll always have a home. You always have a family. And I think that's what's the important storyline right there, is that the queer community, they always have each other, because people are going to oppress them and try to take them out, or, you know, kill them and all that. But they always have each other, and they have to have each other, and they have that found family together, and that community together. I think that's what's so important about that story and what it's trying to bring out. Especially, I love the history, I love the queer history, and that's another thing that queer history is always erased in history, and no, queer people have always been here. They have always gonna be here, and that's the thing. They always been erased through history, and I think that's another thing with Joe and Nikki, because they are immortal and they live so many years. They're from the medieval times, so it's another thing of showing that queer history, and that it's always going to be here, that it's always been here. And I think that, that's another aspect I love, because I love history, like I've always said. And so yes. Oh, the Leonardo Fernandez, the artist thing I was going to bring up. I'm gonna be honest, there's a lot of things with him, and there's recently been interviews. These interviews are old, but they just came to light, of course, because I'd never been into Olgar until the movie came out by Gina Prince Brightwood. He has said some racist things about the how he drew the characters. If you see in the Olgar, if you look it up, how he draws Niall, how he draws Niriko, I think that's her name, is Quinn in the movie, but Niriko. And how he draws the woman, the misogyny of like always naked and all that stuff, not great, not good at all. And then it's the racism with Niriko and Niall, and how he draws them. Niall's a black woman, and Niriko's I forgot. Well, in the movie, Quinn is Vietnamese, but I think she was Japanese. Niriko, I could be totally wrong. I'm so sorry, I don't remember right now, but Niriko's an Asian woman. Let's say that. And so he draws them very offensively, and it's a racist caricatures. And so it's like, and then how he drew Joe in the interview, he was talking about how like he wanted him to have Middle Eastern features that were scary, because Middle Eastern features, they are scary. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That is so offensive. And he said that in an interview. So he draws the people of color in the old guard so messed up. And the fact that he said that, it's like, whoa, dude, that's not right. So that interviews were old, but it recently came out in the fandom, and it's like, wow, that is effed up. Like, seriously. And he for the two, Nikki and Booker, he had people to like base his art on, like real life people. For Joe, it was like, oh, scary Middle Eastern guy. What? It's literally, even if he's not, there's always going to be racism in the sense of like, even if he did it unintentionally, that is always going to come out, because there's racism everywhere. And so it's just so messed up, truly. So yeah, it's really messed up. So I just wanted to mention that because it's important. Of course, if you look at the artwork, a lot of the ladies in there just boobs out and everything, and that's great, when liberation stuff. But like when he's doing, he does it offensively, and it seems like he does it because of all the comments and all that stuff. So not good at all. So I just wanted to bring that up. Sorry for the long review. But I had important things to say. Joe and Nikki look beautiful, how Jacobo drew them. So I really love that. So yeah, I really, I have mixed feelings, because there's some aspects I like of it, and then there's some aspects I don't. But I'm still going to be collecting the series. I'm happy about the issue for the writing of both stories, and some of the art pieces in the Joe and Nikki story. So yeah. So I don't know when issue 2 is coming out. Oh, May 21st, May 22nd, somewhere in May, the end of May. So thank you for watching. Subscribe, like to Geek Edge Chat. I'm gonna have more book reviews. You saw how many books I'm like reading right now, audiobook and stuff, and hopefully I can finish books quick enough. So yeah, have a great day, week, year. Peace.